Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Fantastic Five. This week we're counting down the best relationships in comic books. While filled with action, suspense, and all the good stuff that makes superhero, sci-fi, fantasy stories really pop, at the end of the day, comic books give us a glimpse into the lives of our favorite characters. And what would that glimpse be without a little bit of romance? In terms of honorable mentions, some classic couples that just missed the list included Wiccan and Hulkling, Elongated Man and Sue Dibney, Alana and Marco, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Let's start the countdown. Number 5, Chromedome and Rewind. First things first, this will contain spoilers for the excellent Transformers More Than Meets the Eye comic. Chromedome and Rewind are two Autobots who are conjuncts Endura, which is the Transformers equivalent of spouses. Chromedome is committed to helping Rewind find the final fate of his previous Endura, Dominus Ambus, while Rewind helps Chromedome with his addiction to Nemo surgery. When Rewind was trapped in an escape pod with the rampaging Decepticon Overlord, Chromedome was forced to shoot it and kill them both to save Rewind from a worse death at the villain's hands. However, before he died, Rewind, an archivist, had time to send Chromedome a message stitched together from other people's words letting him know how much he was loved. Due to a very complicated trick of quantum mechanics, it turned out there were two Lost Light crews existing at the same time, and while the other crew also had to deal with Overlord, Rewind was the only survivor of that encounter. Chromedome and Rewind were reunited, and after some hesitation over their different shared experiences, they became a couple once again. Number 4, Gambit and Rogue. While many will say Cyclops and Jean Grey are the enduring and iconic couple from the X-Men, no pair embodies the tortured struggles of mutant kind more than Gambit and Rogue. He's a smooth-talking Cajun sex machine. She's a Southern belle who can't be touched, and when they get together, the tension is so thick you could cut it with adamantium claws. The couple have had some success, especially with the varying nature of Rogue's powers and her control over them, but ultimately the will they, won't they, can they aspect of their relationship is such a powerful draw that it's unlikely they will ever get the happy ending they both want. Number 3, Midnighter and Apollo. While an easy shorthand for explaining to people what if Superman and Batman were gay is outdated by about 15 years now, because Midnighter and Apollo have grown into their own characters with their own interesting nuances, foibles, and relationship quirks when around each other. Apollo is naturally the calmer of the pair, and generally leaves the mayhem to Midnighter, but if it comes down to it, no one can stop Apollo when he's truly on a tear. While the couple were married in their separate Wildstorm continuity, and even adopted the spirit of the 21st century, Jenny Quantum, that relationship was undone by the merging of the Wildstorm universe into the New 52. In the new continuity, we get to see their relationship start from the beginning, and although there were some pitfalls and breakups in there, they persevered and became stronger because of it. Midnighter and Apollo are literally a couple that would go to hell and back to save each other, and punch the devil in the face while they're there. Number 2, Superman and Lois Lane. The interesting thing about why Superman and Lois Lane are such a good couple isn't why Lois is interested in Superman, it's why Clark and Lois are interested in each other. Superman is a godlike being who can do anything he wants. Everyone's gonna be in love with him. It's way more interesting to think about the attributes of Clark Kent and Lois Lane that are so compatible. Lois Lane is the best reporter in the world, and with her skill and tenacity, she represents 3 things to Clark Kent: truth, justice, and the American way. Meanwhile, Clark Kent is the most good-natured man in Metropolis, and if we're really getting psychological, a complete departure from Lois's father, General Sam Lane. It's only academic that they'd get together, even if Clark wasn't also the man of tomorrow. The only thing keeping them from the top spot is how often they're shown in the will they, won't they phase of their relationship, especially when everyone knows that they always will. The fact that Superman and Lois always find each other no matter what the continuity is actually kinda romantic, and they'd have won the list if it wasn't for... Number 1, Big Barda and Mr. Miracle. She's the military genius in charge of Apocalypse's deadliest group of assassins. He's the escape artist son of Darkseid's greatest rival, raised in one of Granny Goodness's orphanages. Who'd have ever thought that opposites would attract and bring Barda and Scott free together to form the strongest and most enduring couple in all of comics? The key factor that keeps Barda and Scott moving is their support for one another, something that is unwavering in their adventures, whether they be on Earth, New Genesis, or back in the fire pits of Apocalypse. If Scott wants to retire from superheroics, Barda's fine with that. If Barda wants to become a pro wrestler, Scott's down. Their unshakable loyalty to each other is unmatched among even the very best couples in comics. Scott and Barta's relationship was based somewhat on their creator Jack Kirby and his relationship with his wife Roz, and you can see the love they had for each other displayed in the hyper-bombastic pages of Kirby's Fourth World comics. There's no pair quite like Scott and Barta, and unless we get another Jack Kirby, there probably never will be. And that's our countdown. Make sure to tune in again for more installments of Fantastic Five. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic Five. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comics awesomeness.